Hello everyone and welcome to PSGL F5 Season 23. My name's Cliffy and I'll be your commentator for the whole of this season. And we're here tonight at Bahrain. I believe most of the other divisions are doing Bahrain. I think there's only one division that I think they're doing Hungary. So yeah, the majority of the leagues opt in for Bahrain. So obviously everyone must like Bahrain. So before we get into the times for quali and the race strategy, I'm going to quickly run through the teams for this season. And I mean, I don't know whether this is updated or not, but in the Mercedes we have Ushin and Josh, so a good pairing there. In the Ferrari we have Warren Haig and Compton Scatter. Again, I know Warren Haig, obviously well known in PSGL. Compton Scatter I've never heard of, so hopefully he can make a name for himself tonight. In the Red Bull we have a very experienced team of Mr. Grumpy and ERT Bliss, so watch out for them two this season. Hopefully they can also have good seasons respectfully. In the Renault we have Onto the Podium and Hulkenberger, again two guys who are well known in PSGL, so again, you know, they're going to be people's favourites for the constructors. In the Force India, in the Racing Point, sorry, we have J Carty 23 and Ozone underscore Never Miss. I don't really know who Ozone underscore Never Misses, but hopefully, again, he can put on a show tonight and make a name for himself. In the Haas team, we have Simo and Betrayer. Called Simo, everyone knows in PSGL, and Betrayer, I believe, last season was in F6 or F5, I believe. So Betrayer sort of in and around the same pace, so he knows what to expect from this division. In Toro Rosso we have X Rossi 21 and Kian. Again, don't really know much about these drivers, so it'd be good to see how they are in this pre-season race. In the McLaren we have LR underscore Cooper and Reptilian 23. So again, another team I'm not really too sure of. In the Sauber we have Viking Steven 7 and Cheetah. So again, another good team there. So a lot of good teams I'm seeing at the moment. And last but not least, in the Williams we have TB Sen underscore and Frizzo. And again, Frizzo well known in PSGL. So we've got a lot of well known and established names in PSGL. So again, it's going to be a good season. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully everyone watching is looking forward to it as well. Now in terms of strategy, we're looking at, I'm going to say a one stop to the medium hards, because I believe the softs just don't last that long around here. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what strategy people do, because obviously, you know, this is only pre-season, so I wouldn't say people are going to take it that seriously, but of course guys who are, you know, they want to make a name for themselves early on, have the early bragging rights, I suppose it will be a good opportunity for them to you know, put on a good result and bring that confidence going into round one, which is of course at Australia. So yeah, every league round one at Australia. So just going through the grid now, seeing who I can go on board with, and I believe ERT Bliss is about to start a lap. I believe, nope, it's coming into the pit. So a lot of people sort of opt in for the softs, which is quite surprising. At the moment, got Kian in first and Reptilian in second, with Frizzo in third and Viking Steven in fourth. A little bit off the pace, but of course some of these guys haven't really set a competitive lap time as of yet. So hopefully we see a lot more of that. So let's see if I'm going to board someone who hasn't set a time yet. Mr. Grumpy, let's see if Grumpy's on a lap. I believe he is. So a lot of people know Mr. Grumpy. I believe he was in F4 at one point. So Mr. Grumpy definitely knows what it takes to be in a quicker division. He's got the pace. I don't know how quick he is on this game. We are going to find out though. So far the lap's been quite tidy. Of course, coming to turns 9 and 10, people who run the ABS know how hard that corner is to get right. Front left tends to look up quite a lot around here as well. And it's getting a little bit of a toe there from Compton Scar. It goes a bit wide because of the dirty air. Is he going to move out of the way? Oh, he does, but very late. Grumpy has to sort of duck off the racing line. That's going to hinder him a little bit as he finishes Sector 2 now. Sector 3, one of the easiest sectors on any track. Literally 2 corners and a straight. So Grumpy coming down now to finish the lap on the medium tyres. Oh, he spun it. Oh, Grumpy always in the wall. And that is not what you want to see on your pre-season race. Mr. Grumpy out of qualifying. So he's going to be starting at the back regardless. And that's gone board with Warren Haig again, another established name in PSGL. Won't want to do what Grumpy just did anyways. It looked like he used up the tyres on the lap, and the last corner of the rear end just stepped away from him, and yeah, he just couldn't save it. So Grumpy not going to be too happy with that. But Ron Haig again, another established name in PSG. I've had the pleasure of racing Ron Haig in other, I think, FP last season, and you know, when this man's on pace, he is very, very quick. So let's hope he can put a good lap in on the mediums. Of course, Torosso behind him. Oh, he goes deep actually, so he'll back out of that lap. Torosso might have put him off a little bit. So we're not able to get that car slowed down properly. So it's gone board with his teammate, who we saw sort of almost held up Grumpy, but not to the extent where, you know, it would be classed as blocking. So Compton scatter now. Again, don't know much about him, so I'm going to keep an eye on people I don't really know to see how they perform in this race. As he comes to the final corner, technically. I'm not going to class a little kink on the exit corner. And he comes to the line, nice clean entry and exit, opens the DRS, and he goes full fastest on the hard tyre. So Compton Scatter, definitely early days. He is on the pace. Top 3 all out on an out lap. Let's go down to ERT Bliss, who's out on the soft tyres now, as I think majority of the field are out on the soft. Still people opting for the hards and the mediums, but I think everyone will be trying to go for that 1 lap pace, and maybe try 2 stop, maybe even try 1 stop from the soft to the hards. I have no idea what people are going to do, but let's come off ERT Bliss, go to someone like Hulkenberg as he starts his first flying lap on the soft tyres. So again, another established name in PSGL. Very, very experienced, and so far he's making it look easy through sector 1, looking nice and clean. He shows in sector 1. Who is that? I'm going to see if I can quickly find it. As onto the podium, he goes 6th on a set of hards. That's a good lap from him. Not that far behind Compton's Scatter either. And Hulk now through turns 9 and 10. Clipping the apex, nice, good exit. And he can now put the power down. And now going to swooping left-hander, which again, if you take too much speed, you get on that curb, the back end just steps out and that's it. Qualifying is over, especially this fast right-hander as well. Too much steering and put the back end again, will just step out. And yeah, that'll be your tyre off. But Hulk definitely making it look easy in that Renault, of course. Personal favourite of mine, as people will know. And he comes up the final corner again, looking quite composed. And he comes into the pits. So whether that was a little bit of a banker lap from him, I don't know. He looked quite clean. So I'll have to see how he does on his next run. We've got Luke Bailey in the Mercedes. I don't know whether he's replacing or has replaced Josh or Ushin. I suppose I'll find out later on. Don't really know much about Luke, but he is on a lap it seems, and Kian goes fastest with 28 flat. So Kian, Reptilium and Simo all on the pace at the moment, with Bliss, Frizzo and Compton all not far behind, and Luke comes into the pits as well. So I think some of these guys are just maybe getting used to the track. I think Ron Haig being one of them people doing 3 laps on the mediums, but he's got to be careful, because if no one improves below him and he doesn't improve on his next run, he'll be starting on them tyres. So Ron Haig definitely risking it here as we approach just under 6.5 minutes left of qualifying. Ozo never miss again, someone I don't really know. I don't know who it is, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on guys who I don't know. Excuse me. Comes into sector 2 now, again looking quite clean. There's yellows in sector 3. We'll find out who that is. Must be a car slowing down. But again, this lap looks very good from Ozone. So he comes down into the back straight now, coming into the final corner. Good under braking, gets on the power nice and early. Keeps that rear in check, and does he pit? No, he's going to finish the lap. And where's he going to go? He goes full fastest, 8 tenths away from Kian, who is on pole on the soft tyres. So I believe the likes of Ozone Never Miss and Compton Scatter, they're all, I think both them guys are definitely on the pace, because they're both on the harder tyre, and they're both not far from pole, so watch out for them two towards the end of qualifying. I'm going to quickly go down to Jay Carty. He's on, I believe, another lap. He's on the mediums now, so again, a lot of the guys, I think it's going to be split between soft and medium, but someone like Compton Scatter will have to improve on his next lap, and of course Warren as well. So he gets on that curve. See the car almost stepping out a little bit there, and finishes sector 2. Again, looking clean, gets on the power nice and early. Doesn't take too much curb on exit, because you will get invalid, speaking from experience. Coming into the final corner now, as that Cooper goes pole with 27.6, 4 tenths quicker than Keen's time. So definitely track ramping up in time, and Jay Carty goes 5th, 1 second off of pole. So yeah, I mean, a lot of guys here who at the moment look like they've got the pace, so who knows. Let's go on board with someone else who's out. So we've got Cooper, I believe he's on the in lap. Yep, you can tell because he's going exploring. TB Sen, he's coming into the pits, so he must have had a shocker of a lap or got invalid. Viking Steven, let's stay with him. I am going to get the chat up as well. So yeah, and I'll see what everyone is saying and say hello to everyone who is watching. I do appreciate everyone watching. I know there are other leagues or divisions, should I say, having their pre-season race as well. So I do appreciate those that are choosing to watch F5. And yeah. Yes, so far Stephen looking quite good. Haven't seen anyone lock up there, so I believe most of the guys are running ABS, which of course you are allowed to in the lower divisions. So let's quickly go on the chat, and then we'll see who is watching. Wait. Is that the one? Yeah. So I don't know why it's... Okay, right. Okay, so I've got the chat up now, so hello to Ron Haig, hello Grumpy, hello Womar, hello Fraggle, and yeah, I believe Grumpy just saying that the Ferrari had ruined his lap already. I mean, it did look like he did, so you've got a lot to prove, Grumpy, starting at the back, no pressure, just have fun. That's all it's all pre-season is, in my opinion, just have fun, see where everyone is in terms of pace, and then you know sort of where to improve and if you don't have to improve. So I think Stephen did finish the lap. He went 5th, I think. So yeah, good luck from him. 7 tenths for pole at that moment. Cooper setting the early pace, and I believe Reptilium just went 3rd. So there's some McLaren 1-3 at the minute. So McLaren looking very strong And I believe the next good team from them are I'd say the Force Indias, to be honest. 8th and 9th, not bad from them. 50 seconds left, so I believe everyone now is going to be starting their outlaps, and let's see what everyone has fitted. So we're onto the podium, opting for a set of the medium tyres. Let's stay with onto the podium. He's good at his admin work. Let's see if he's good on track as he starts his lap on the medium tyre. So don't expect him to be fighting for pole on the harder tyres. He comes into turn 1, takes a nice late apex, gets a good exit, clips the curb, not too much, and again looking quite clean from what I've been seeing from people so far. As onto the podium now, navigates his way through sector 1. Don't want to get on the power too early because the back end again will step out. And he finishes sector 1, clips the curb nicely on entry. Doesn't want to clip that curb on the outside because it will chuck the car out, and you will be out of the race if you can't stop it in time and hit the wall. But onto the podium, coming through turns 9 and 10. Nice apex as well. Looking like a good clean lap so far from onto the podium. He's got a sail bar well off the racing line, so that won't disturb him. Again, clips the curb nicely. Doesn't want to clip the curb on exit, and that is perfect from onto the podium. So it does look like a good lap, I must admit. Again, doesn't clip the curb too much. I mean, back end did step out a little bit, but he won't lose time. As he comes down the back straight into the final corner. Once again, doesn't quite clip the apex, goes a little bit wide, not much though. That won't hurt his lap too much. When he comes to the line, and it is 6th place, so it was a very good lap in the end from onto the podium. The highest hard, well not hard, but harder tyre person. So the only person left to improve, or even have a chance at improving, is Cooper and Compton, who I've been told used to be Mayhem Madness. So again, he used to be in PSGL a few seasons ago, so you know, all these guys with new names definitely catching me out. So that is in the qualifying, and it is LR Cooper who gets pole position, 27.5, good lap. In second place we have Kian with 27.8. In third we have Ozone and Never Miss. In fourth we have Reptilium. In fifth we have ERT Bliss. Sixth we have onto the podium, highest and medium runner. In seventh we have Simo. In eighth we have TP Zen, if I'm saying that right, I do apologise if I'm not. In ninth we have Ron Haig, and in 10th we have Compton Scatter, also known as Mayhem Madness. Just outside the top 10 we have Stephen in 11th, Frizzo 12th, Hulk 13th, J Carty 14th, and I didn't get the rest of the grid because I'm too slow. So there you go. For the formation up, we will have a proper rundown of the grid. And for those watching, if you've got your predictions for who you want to win or podium, or if you think Grumpy can come from the back and get a good result, put it in the chat. I'll be sure to read some of them out as we prepare for lights out for pre-season. So while these guys do their strategies, I'm going to quickly go for a drink, and I'll be back for the formation lap. as the cars approach the grid. LR Cooper on pole, Kean in second. Who's going to get a better start? And my guess is someone behind them. I think I'm going to go for Reptilian. He's going to get a good start. That's my plan. He's going to be in at least P2 by the end of turn 1. Also watch out for onto the podium. Highest harder compound runner in the top 10 of course. But all eyes are at the front with Cooper and Kean. Who's going to get a better run into turn 1. Not a great camera angle. Not great again. As we find, yeah, we're going to go to 5 red lights. Good camera angle, and we are underway for F5 pre-season. I think Cooper's got a good start. Kean is going to pull alongside, get the slipstream, and I believe onto the podium's lost the place on them harder tyres. Let's clean up the front. Kean, he's got the lead. No, he's not. Cooper defends it nicely. Ozone never misses, up into third. Fraggle is up into fourth, and Liam down into fifth. But at the front we've got Kean getting the lead. They're side by side. Is there going to be mayhem? Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Keeping it nice and clean though, to be fair to him. And Cooper's going to have the inside line. No, he doesn't. Backs out of it, and Kean takes the lead. Good battling from the two front runners, as Fraggle actually having a look on Never Miss. He's going to go for a bit of an up and under. If he gets that done, that'll be a good move. He gets it slowed down, and that is a very, very good move from Fraggle there. Absolutely sensational move. And still side by side, hangs it down the inside, and now it's Fraggle up into P3. And down at the back, there's not really been much action. Onto the podium, lost a couple of places, being on the harder tyre of course. Simo's got a bit of clean air, but behind them, Ron Haig, wing damage, late braking, and I believe that might have been Mayhem Madness that's gone off. Let's have a quick look. I think he's got wing damage. Yes, he has. But up at the front, Kean a 6/10 lead, but Cooper now is going to have to slipstream. There's no DRS until the end of the next lap, and not really gaining that much, so he's going to keep the lead. But Fraggle and Never Miss are going to go battling into turn 1. Give me a good camera angle. Never Miss around the outside. Oh, Fraggle lost the rear a little bit. Is that going to allow Lim to go through? I think it is. No, these two are good friends of each other, so they're going to give each other as much space possible. But it is Liam round the outside on Fraggle. A little bit of lag, but I think that's just the lobby. Oh, Fraggle's lost it. Oh, he's managed to keep it. Oh my god, that could have ended badly. Oh, there we go. I think Fraggle did actually hit someone there, but I don't think it gave them any damage. Everyone looks like they're still going. So Fraggle not having the best starts. He's gone down the field, and his teammate's gone up the field. Mr. Grumpy up into 9th place. And what a start from him. He started P16. Ended lap, well, midway through lap 2. And he's up into P9, so a very good start from him. Onto the podium. Getting past Simo there, who brakes late to give TP Zen the room. He's on the mediums as well, so watch out for him. Excuse me. He goes right round the outside, and that is a good move, but Simo brakes late. Really late, actually, and he's going to lose not one. Well, he does lose only 1 place. As Grumpy, believe... Yeah, he hasn't got any damage, so Grumpy, again, looks like he's on the pace here for race pace. Up at the front, Cooper can't really get much closer to Kean, but I think the mover here is going to be onto the podium, so I believe Warren has got wing damage, so we will stay with him to see just how easy it is to get past someone on this game who has wing damage. And Warren, no, he's lost it. He's lost it. He's in the wall, and he's out. Warren Haig is out of pre-season here at Bahrain, one of the most established names in this league, and he's out. That's not what you want to see from someone experienced as Warren Haig. As we go back now, I mean, onto the podium, he's not gonna complain at that. 3 positions, he's up into 5th place now, with Sen behind him and Simo keeping a watching brief. Who might have to look behind him actually, because Grumpy is on a charge. From the back of the grid, you've got to feel that Grumpy is on the pace here. in these early stages of the race. But I'm going to quickly go up to the front because Cooper looks like he's closing that gap to Kian. I believe he's just sort of left the guys behind. So yeah, Cooper doesn't really have to look behind. He can focus on the guys at the front. So let's see how much he catches in the DRS. Good exit from Kian though. Goes defensive. And for the most part, doesn't really gain that much as Kian sets the fastest lap of the race. Now, I don't know how long these softs will go for, and I don't know how long it will be before the likes of onto the podium and Sen do catch. But at the moment, I'm just like the softs are starting to go off now because onto the podium and Sen are sort of catching Liam just up the road, and Sen goes for a bit of a look down the inside, doesn't really go for it. I believe that was just to maybe scare onto the podium, but he is not going to be having any of that. And yeah, so far nice clean battles throughout as Cooper now closes that gap to Kian as Mayhem and Madness sets fastest lap of the race, a 32 flat. Let's see what ERS they've both got. So 90%, 40%. So Cooper doing a fantastic job here managing his ERS. I wish I could manage mine like that. So this lap should be the lap where Cooper sets him up, and then down that start finish straight he should get that move done, because as you can see, Kian just hasn't got the ERS, I believe, to keep Cooper behind. I think now he needs to go into overtake now. And he's still in 2. Kian pits. And Cooper stays out. So, I mean, the soft tyre's not lasting long. I did say they weren't going to last that long. As onto the podium now, tries to latch on to the back of Liam. But Sen behind, looks like he's got a much better run. He's going to go for it. All down the inside. Didn't think much of it though. Onto the podium, I think broke late just to fend off Sen. And yeah, at the moment, again, nice clean start, only lap 5, so had some really good action here at the moment. Mr. Grumpy up into 6th place, lap 5. What a start from him. As Sen and onto the podium, getting really close to Liam now. Is onto the podium going to send it? No, he doesn't. So I believe maybe down this next straight, onto the podium might have Liam in his back pocket. Because them softs do not look nice on that McLaren. You can tell by the right hand side of that front left as onto the podium was lost the rear there. But he's going to have to keep an eye behind, because Sen looks like he's got more top end speed, but by the time he does start gaining, it's just too late. As Liam losing a rear a little bit there, so them softs definitely going off. And you see just under braking alone how much more confident onto the podium is compared to Liam on them battered softs. You can just see how dark they are. The rears anyway, as onto the podium. This should be easy as you like now. I believe Liam might be pitting though. Yes, he does. So Liam comes into the pits, that releases onto the podium, and Sen, but onto the podium will still get DRS from Liam's car. Simo pits as well, that moves Grumpy up. Oh no, Grumpy was already in 5th, I believe. And yeah, Mr. Grumpy already getting to move in DRS from Sen. So what a start Mr. Grumpy's had to this race, I've got to say. And Sen, is he going to go for it? Yes, he does. Down the inside, onto the podium, holding it around the outside. Again, nice clean battling between these two. Still side by side. Who's going to give up? None of them gives up. One onto the podium, just keeps the position. But look at Grumpy, round the outside of Sen. Sen tries to duck it down the inside again. Doesn't happen though. Mr. Grumpy almost benefited hugely from that little scrap. And Jake, I'm going to go on board with Jay Carter to see how he's seeing things on the soft tyre, so he should be in at the end of this lap. And Frizzo actually on the hards, not a bad stint from him either. Let's just see how. No, he's been going since the start of the race, I believe. So good opening stint from him, not being too far behind the guys on the mediums. As onto the podium starts to open up that a little bit more of a gap. And Grumpy looking the quicker out of the 3 drivers, I must say. And up at the front, Cooper still out, so he must be going for one stop. No, Grumpy, not again! Oh no! Did he get wing damage from that? I don't think he did. Oh, Mr. Grumpy. He's still in a good position. He's still in 7th place. But here comes Kian, net race leader. And Grumpy. I don't know what to say to that, man. Same corner in qualifying. That's unlucky. He was doing so well, but he's still got a good chance. As Ozone and Never Miss comes into the pits. He's gone for another set of softs, so he's going for a 2-stop without a shadow of a doubt. But onto the podium, and Senna going back at it again onto the podium, still round the outside again. So we're going for take 2. This has been good battling from these two so far, and it continues. And Sen finally gets the move done. Is Mr. Grumpy going to go for a bit of a wide entry, get a better exit, try and move it down his inside into turn 9 and 10? No, he doesn't, and Sen gets to place. So, but yeah, let's start up the chat again because I haven't got it open. Stay on board with onto the podium to see what his straight line speed is like, and it looks like he's got a little bit of an advantage. I know he's got DRS, but yeah, he's looking quite good at the moment. He's onto the podium, of course, in the medium. So I believe him and Sen will definitely do a 1-stop, medium to hard. We'll just have to see what the likes of Cooper and Ozone Never Miss do, because you know, an aggressive 2-stop against a preserved 1-stop. You know, we'll see which one prevails here tonight. But onto the podium, it's not really that. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move here. No, he isn't. So, you know, I don't really know what to say. Onto the podium, not really having the straight line speed, but Sen is using more ERS at the moment, so maybe onto the podium is preserving that ERS because it is so important at any track. As yeah, so far good battling. Jay Carty again. I think he's going to be going for the same strategy as LR Cooper. And Mr. Grumpy still in 7th of that spin a lap ago. Did well to keep it out of the wall. I know he tapped the wall a little bit, but didn't get any damage from it. So Grumpy can still get a very good result here tonight. I mean, he's in 7th, so it's good enough. Good enough to see from Grumpy. But the closest battle out on track at the minute is the battle between onto the podium and Sen. So we'll stay with onto the podium then, as they finish at sector 2, and we'll see. I will keep an eye on the gaps. If there's a battle at the back of the field, I will try and pick it up. But again, this is the closest battle on track. As does Cooper pit? Yeah, fine. Cooper pits from the lead of the race. That now will, I'll say release, but that will put Sen in the lead with onto the podium in 2nd place. Now, there should be a set of hards for Cooper. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. So we should be able to go to the end from here. But only 8 laps on the set of mediums. You've got to think he's going to be stretching it a little bit. We'll see how long Frizzo can go on the hards, actually. That'll be a good representation for the guys behind. As Grumpy and actually Ozone's got the undercut on Cooper. Not by much, but he's got the undercut. So Ozone Never Miss, net lead of the race, has to do another stop. Cooper, he's going to try and get to the end, but it's going to be very, very tight. Whether he can or not is a whole different question. But yeah, again, I mean, we've got some really good, interesting strategies going on. We've got Senna onto the podium doing the 1-stop, medium to hard. We have the likes of we've got Frizzo on the hards, he's in 4th place. Kian in 5th. I believe he's pit as well. Yes, he has. Oh, Cooper, I thought he almost looked like he lost a rear then. So I think Cooper might be sort of on the better strategy here. It's all about how long he can make them hards go. 20 laps on a set of hards and he's done 9 laps on a set of mediums. I don't see it happening personally. But we will see what happens. And I'm looking in the chat. Warren saying he got on the curb, car just spat him out and he couldn't get it slowed down. We've got Zexa in the chat, so hello Zexa. He's rooting on Cooper. So at the moment it's looking very good. The yellow's in sector 2 though. Is Frizzo off? Not Frizzo. Who is it? I have no idea who it is. Them yellow flags are out for a long time as well, so I think someone just had an off. Might have had a half spin. And yeah, they're on their way again. But yeah, onto the podium, still keeping within that 6th to 7th, 10th gap. And yeah, I know what he's doing. He's making him use all his DRS, because onto the podium, 80% compared to 28%. And he's in overtake and he's in medium. So yeah, onto the podium, definitely playing a long game here, playing a strategy game, which is what you want to see. But I'm going to go back away from this and go to Simo. Haven't really seen much of Simo this race. He's down in 10th and he's got Jay Carty ahead of him on the hard tyres, just to come out the pit, so them tyres are going to be quite cold at the moment, and being on the harder tyres, not going to have much grip. So you expect Simo, whose tyres are only 4 laps old, to make the move as a Grumpy behind Frizzo. I'll try and keep an eye on that battle as well. And oh, sorry, going to go back up because onto the podium. He's going round the outside into turn 1. Sen defends it onto the podium, still round the outside, and he gets them. But he's going to have to be careful now, because then we'll come back at him with the DRS, of course. And onto the podium, able to DRS. But Sen going to hang it right around the outside, brakes late, goes off track slightly onto the podium. He's still there. I think again I'm going to go for the number. This is round number 3 now through the fast sector 2. Sorry, onto the podium, ducks back down the inside. I think Sen read it, went for a bit of an up and under, gets the better exit onto the podium, squeezes him almost off the track, but onto the podium, takes the net lead of this race. And onto the podium now, he's going to use the DRS surely to get away from Sen. But Sen's coming back at him already. Goes a bit deep, that's going to allow onto the podium to gain a couple attempts. See him almost squirming the car around to try and save that rear. And yeah, so far onto the podium, and Sen having a fantastic battle on track. Kian in 3rd, I believe he's the net race leader, sorry. Mr. Grumpy in 4th, has got past Frizzo, so I did miss that, so I do apologise. So Frizzo's done 10 laps so far on the set of hards. Ozo Neverbis now coming up to Frizzo, as is Cooper, so this might bunch him up a little bit here. As they're onto the podium and Sen have pitted, so this should be a set of hards and they should be able to go to the end from here without a shadow of a doubt. We'll just have to see how many laps Frizzo does on them hard tyres. As up ahead, Ozo Nevermiss goes down the inside. I think Frizzo knows that his battle isn't with these guys, or is it? Because he's coming back at him. And that is good racing from Frizzo there. It looked like he just let him by. But I believe Ozo Nevermiss just looked up a little bit. Sort of overcooked the entry. As Frizzo hangs it around the outside, gives him all the space on the inside. And that should be moved on, but no, it ain't. Frizzo defends it superbly on 11 lap old hards, but Nevermiss should get the move done. Ooh, but Cooper, he looked like he went to go down the inside as well. Frizzo, does he concede to place? No, he doesn't. He's still there. This is superb racing from Frizzo on 11 lap old hards. Oh, Cooper's got wing damage. Oh, that's tragic. He tried to brake later. I don't think he was expecting Ozone to brake as early as he did, but he was right behind Frizzo. But he's going to go for a dive. Frizzo did see it. He gave him the space, still holds it around the outside. So again, this little battle here is helping Kian get away. But with Cooper with wing damage, it's going to allow the likes of onto the podium and Sen to catch up. As Nevermiss, does he dive down the inside? Yes, he does this time. Frizzo gives him the space again. Does he get him on exit? No, he doesn't. And I believe Nevermiss will have the DRS as well. Yes, he will. Does Cooper pit? No, he doesn't. He stays out. And he's going to get past Frizzo. Yes, he is. Frizzo, ooh, defending there. But is he going to go for a move on Nevermiss as well? Can he get it slowed down? He can just. Frizzo still around his outside, and does Frizzo get the better exit? Excuse me, no he doesn't. As Cooper cuts to track, that will certainly be a warning for him and Sen. And onto the podium, round number 4 now between these two, being side by side through sector 1. So these two are having a fantastic battle so far in this pre-season race. And Sen, does he go deep? No he doesn't. Gets the car stopped perfectly. Does onto the podium get the exit? No he don't. And Sen gets by. This could be a race-long battle between these two, without a shadow of a doubt. And Simo and Jay Carty all having a watching brief, and Jay Carty actually, he's pacing them hard, has been quite good because he's almost on the back of onto the podium and Sen. So yeah, it's good to see from him. Oh, as he goes deep into turns 9 and 10, that's going to compromise his exit. As Frizzo now losing time. But with Cooper with that wing damage, he's sort of shot his own foot there. But it can't be that bad if he's carrying on. There's Grumpy now up into a net second, but I think with pit stops he might drop down to outside the top 10 due to that spin earlier. Does he pit now? Yes he does. 12 laps and a spin, to be fair, so that's good good stuff there from Grumpy, and almost goes in too slowly into the pits there. But let's go back to onto the podium and Sen. Onto the podium with the DRS now. Can he get the move done? He's gaining, but he's just not gaining enough. I think he's going to do what he done last time, because Zen does not have enough ERS to keep him behind for the rest of this race. And Mr. Grumpy coming out of the pits in 12th place. So he's got a chance of getting some points here, because obviously the cars ahead, some of them will have to pit again. So it's not over yet for Mr. Grumpy. So who else can we go on board with? I believe this is the closest battle on track. So yeah, I'll stay with this battle. You know, if I see any other gaps getting closer, I will go on board. But people want to see action, and at the moment, you know, the action is coming from Sen and onto the podium. Fantastic battle so far between these two. How these two haven't come together yet is beyond me. But nonetheless, it's a good indication for both these guys for the season ahead. It's always good when you know you can go side by side with someone, and you know they give you the space. It's what pre-season's all about. For me, it's not about winning. It's about knowing the grid, knowing the drivers, knowing who you can and can't really go side by side with. Because there are drivers who you can't, you know, go side by side with. It's like a confidence thing. I think some of these drivers would agree. But onto the podium now. This is his chance. He's gaining a hell of a lot. Is he going to go for it? No, he doesn't. Stays behind. And Liam actually now catching up to the back of Frizzo. So again, we'll see that as Hulk comes into the pits. Then now promotes Grumpy up into P11. And he's actually right behind Steven, so we'll stay with Grumpy. Of course, on them hard tyres. Just to get into the points. Doesn't want to lose that rear again. So just over halfway now in this race. We've sort of flown by a little bit. It's gone quite quick. And does Mr. Grumpy go for it? No, he doesn't. Stays behind Steven, almost pushing him through that corner there on exit. Of course, Steven might pit at the end of this lap. Grumpy will go to the end from here, of course. And I believe when Frizzo pits, he might even be up into P9. So Grumpy could still get a very good result here. I think the ones to watch will be Sen and onto the podium, because I think everyone ahead might have to pit again. I'm not entirely sure. So Sen not having enough ERS, I think, not to keep him behind. Is Steven off? Yes, he is. He's off. I believe that is at the end of Sector 2. Yes, it is. So the fast right-hander claims its first victim in Steven. We got onto the podium and Sen battling Frizzo. But up ahead we've got Liam getting past Frizzo. He's going to try to get him on exit again. No, he doesn't. And Sen and onto the podium as they were. Sen in front of onto the podium, but Liam getting the move done. He goes in Sector 3. Who's that? I believe yeah, Stephen. So he's coming in to the pits to fit another set of tyres, and Mr. Grumpy making a move on Ozone and Never Miss. I believe he pitted, so it's now Grumpy up into P9, and when Simo pits, it'll be P8. So yeah, Grumpy's still on for a good result here. He started from the back, so it's good to see. And not Connor. Stephen said he's got a puncher, so that's unlucky, Stephen. Running well this race as well, mate. Unlucky. He goes in sector 2 now. Frizzo's out. Where has he binned it? Oh my, that's a strange place to bin it. How far down the straight? He weren't battling with anyone, was he? He's just... How? No idea how he's done that. What? That is strange. As Kean pits, let's see where he comes out in relation to these guys, because it'll be all about where he comes out. And Grumpy's off again. Mr. Grumpy, that rear end not treating him nice at all. And Luke might actually getting the points here as well. So Kean comes out behind onto the podium, and Sen, and onto the podium is now past that Williams driver. So again, these two having a fantastic battle. But Sen gets the exit onto the podium, goes defensive. He wants to keep. Onto the podium now. Lost the place again. Tried to go around the outside. It's been a fantastic battle all race long, have to say. There's virtual safety car. Wow. Now who's that going to benefit? No, I don't know. I would say it could benefit Liam, but I don't know. Depends on when it ends. If they were closest to the pits, then I'd say pit, but I don't really know how to call this. I mean, onto the podium, he's looking strong, as is Zen as well. Could be battle for the podium here, if not the win. If the two guys ahead have to pit again. You have to be careful though, because obviously if you get speeding under this virtual safety car, you'll get a stop go. But luckily none of these guys have done that. And Cooper carries on. Liam pits. Lap 18, so this will be second stop, and hopefully his last. So that will now release Sen up into second place and onto the podium onto third. So this is a battle for second and third now between these guys. Onto the podium, he's got the ERS, he's got the speed to go around the outside. Confidence under braking. Does he get the inside line? Yes, he does. No contact at all, and Sen keeps the place from onto the podium. So again, a really good battle between these two. And they're going to go side by side through sector 1, through the end of sector 1. Oh, Zen goes well off the track. And onto the podium, doing a fantastic job managing ZRS. We've got Liam losing the place to Grumpy, I believe. I think Liam has just pitted as well. So, Frizzo said he had a puncher. So that's interesting actually, because Frizzo did 15 laps on them set of hards, and Cooper will have to do 18 for, I don't know, it's going to be close. It's going to be close for everyone actually, because I think everyone might have to pit again, in all fairness. I think Kean could be on for the win actually, after all. Some soft stay, not soft stay, some medium stay in the working temperature, then he could be on for the win here. But I mean, onto the podium, and Zen look quite nailed on for either first and second or second and third. But onto the podium, he's coming back at him. Kean sets the fastest lap, so he's on a charge now. Onto the podium, down the inside. Zen will try and get the exit, bit of a switchback on exit. Does he get it slowed down? He does, and he does get the exit. But he just hasn't got the ERS. Onto the podium, defends the inside again, and this is just roll and repeat, because Zen goes right round the outside. Sorry, not the outside, the inside. Sorry, and onto the podium now, sticking his nose in there. Still, how are these two not crash? That's like 5 times they've done that now. It's only pre-season, lads. You don't need to, you know, show everyone up. But Kian, look how close he is. He's right behind this battle. As he knows he's on for a wing. Jay Kai goes defensive. So he's not letting this place go without a fight. Never misses slightly behind this. As Hulk and Mayhem go for a battle. Mayhem goes for a bit of a switchback. Does he make it stick? Oh, we've seen one runner stick it down the inside. Oh, not enough space given to Hulk there. And one runner made it stick, the other one didn't. But luckily Hulk's still in this race. And still able to get a good result here. But Kian, look at this, he's just all over the back of Jay Carty. He's going to go for the exit, get a better exit. Yes, he does, gets a much better exit. DRS is going to help him catch up to onto the podium, but Jay Carty looking like he's running slightly lower wings up at the front. We've got Zen and onto the podium going at it again. So I'm going to give the action to someone else. Jay Carty holds it around the outside. Kian gets the move done and is now in 4th place and is now on a charge to catch up to these two who are hindering both their races, but I'm not going to complain because it is very good action here as onto the podium has a bit of a squirm. I think they might have had slight contact and onto the podium has to concede that place, but Kian, he is right there. I mean, Cooper is one to watch as well because, you know, he's got a good lead to the cars ahead and I think he has got wing damage as well, so whether he's taking it easy or not I don't know, but he's definitely keeping that gap out about 6.5 seconds. So onto the podium then, dropping slightly behind Zen at the minute. As Kian really forcing the error now, really getting behind that rear end of that Renault. It'd be interesting to see if onto the podium just lets him go. To see if he does defend from exit. If these two start fighting out, we'll just allow Zen to go off into the distance, which onto the podium will not want to do. But then at the same time, this is for 3rd place. This is for a podium position here in the pre-season race. And Kian, he just doesn't have the straight line speed. He hasn't got the ERS either, so does he go for it? He does try to brake late, looks for the inside. I think he's letting onto the podium know that if it is there, he will go for it. But I think the only thing saving him right now is his ERS management. It is absolutely superb right now, much better than the cars in this sandwich. Excuse me. And Zen's taken half a second out of Cooper, so that wing damage definitely hindering him now. There are 8 laps left of this race. It's anyone's guess who's going for the win, but Kian going down the inside. I missed that move, and is that move done? Yes, it is. No, it's not, because onto the podium he's going to fight back. There's slight contact onto the podium. Oh my god. Yo, fair play to Kian for avoiding that. Stars. And fair play to onto the podium for keeping that out of the wall. Fair play. I don't know what happened there. I think just slight contact, not enough space given down the inside and onto the podium, lost the rear a little bit and half spun, but managed to keep it and managed to avoid Kian, who's definitely on for the win here. But Cooper, you know, if these guys keep battling like this, then he's just going to gain more and more time with that wing damage as well. So let's go further down to Liam. So I believe I've given enough action to the guys at the front. Let's give it to the guys at, well, lower end of the midfield, should I say. As Liam moves to on the back of Mr. Grumpy. So I think Mr. Grumpy can still come away happy with this race. You know, 2 spins. He's in 7th place and started at the back. So, you know, Grumpy has got the pace to, I'd say, challenge for the title this season. But down the inside, no, Liam thinks better of it. Now, I know him and Grumpy are good friends. So again, it should be a good clean battle between these two. And the gap between Keenan and onto the podium, 1.2 seconds now. So that spin, or half spin should I say, from onto the podium is I think he's just going to play it cool for a couple laps, try and edge into that DRS, just to catch that little bit each lap, and then maybe on the last lap go for a move. But at the moment, looking at this battle for what is 7th place between Liam and Grumpy. Of course, Grumpy in his own mind knows he shouldn't even be down here. He should be at least fighting with, I'd say, onto the podium and Kian. 2 spins later though, and he's down in 7th place. Looking behind him, because Liam on the medium tyres, 4 lap, fresher tyres, quicker tyre as well. So you'd expect him to make the move stick at the end of this lap. But you know, Grumpy has had problems in this sector. Spun here twice already this race, and again in quali, where it actually ended his qualifying and he did have to start from the back. So that'll play a part in his head. You know, he'll always try and not put the power down too early, especially at this last corner. And he gets a good exit there, but I think this is Liam's chance now. It's as close as he's ever been. As he moves, Mr. Grumpy stays in the middle of the track. Liam has to go around the outside. Ooh, there's slight contact between the two of them there. Grumpy definitely giving him just about a car's width. And Grumpy defending that place quite superbly there from Liam. And onto the podium now, 1.6 from Kian. So I'm keeping an eye on that gap at the front as well, 5.3 now. So he's not catching as quick as what he should be. Is Sen. So I believe if Cooper can keep them tyres working and the wear isn't too much on them, he should be able to win this race with wing damage as well, so definitely be a championship favourite. But Liam now, surely now, DRS, can he make this move stick? No, he can't. Just not big enough straight to go for a move there. Let's stay with Liam then, as Carty now 4/10 behind onto the podium. So that spin from onto the podium might have just heated up his tyres that too much, and now he's paying the price. As Liam now still behind Grumpy, coming to the final corner. Onto the podium, he's off. Oh no, he's not off. Jay Carty, I think, went for a bit of a dive there. And onto the podium now, down into 5th place. I think this could be the best he's going to do tonight, because he just can't make them tyres work. Can Liam go for a move? Go for a bit of a switch back down inside? No. He's going to try get him on exit. It's a good exit from Liam, but also a good exit from Grumpy, respectfully. And Liam on this occasion can't get past. So it's good defensive driving from Grumpy there to keep Liam behind. I mean, Liam's got just that little bit more ERS as well, so he should be able to come back at Grumpy. But onto the podium now. Has he sorted out his tyre issues? Because he's coming back at Jay Carty. Is he going to go around the outside? Oh, that is tight. Still side by side. And Jay Carty defends it. Onto the podium, he's not going to want to give this up without a fight, as we've seen with his battle with Sen, who's now about just over 5 seconds up the road. So onto the podium, has lost a heap of time. Onto the podium, look, you can see how aggressive he is now. He wants that place back. He knows he should be with Zen. As Jay Carty, does he defend the inside? Yes, he does. So onto the podium, I have to go right around the outside. But I think by the time they get under break in, yeah, you go onto the podium, gets that move done. Is Jay Carty going to go for a dive? Onto the podium, did give him the space. I think last lap Jay Carty just must have went for a dive bomb. And unfortunately for onto the podium, it's just a heap of time now, because he's now 4 seconds behind Kian, who still isn't ahead of Sen. And up in front, Cooper, with wing damage, is keeping that gap. It is coming down, but he is keeping that gap quite good actually. And Liam and Grumpy going side by side. That's Liam making the move finally on Grumpy, lap 25. And Grumpy down into 8th. Is he going to come back at Liam? No, he doesn't. And so far this has been a really good race to watch. Don't know who's going to win yet. I ain't got a clue. Could be anyone. Oh, Liam gets a penalty. That's not going to help his cause. And he goes wide there. That's going to allow Grumpy to get the move done with DRS as well. So all that hard work Liam done to get past, and he's going to have to do it all again. And he's actually slowing down quite a lot there. So I don't actually know what's wrong with Liam's car there, but... Oh, he's left! Oh, lagged out. Internet. Just... Bye. Oh, wow. Sen. 31-1. 14 lap old hards. He knows he can win this race. And Kian, 1.3 now the gap. So I think this might be between Sen and Kian. As onto the podium in the background, they're defending off Jay Carty. So now maybe he can make inroads to Kian. But all the while him and Jay Carty battle, I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to go for a dive. Yes, he does. Ooh, that could have been dangerous if they made contact. But they didn't, and I think onto the podium, I think 4th place might be the best he's going to do tonight. As Sen now, he's really closing that gap now. Well, them tyres do not look nice, do they? 17 laps, of course. Rizzo got a punch on 15 lap old hards. So we still got to do 3 more laps here. 17 laps. That's 20 laps on a set of hard tyres at Bahrain. I do not see this happening. I really don't. He's really closing the gap now with Sen. But his tyres are only 3 laps fresher. So I don't know what's going on with Cooper. I mean, that wing damage must be hindering him a lot. Especially with that wing damage as well. I mean, that front left does not look nice. Neither does the front right, to be honest. So I guess we'll see. As the gap now 2 seconds. Kian 1.9 the gap now. So Sen, from out of nowhere, could be on for the win here. And he sets another fastest lap. He's making a name for himself tonight. It's a good chance because, you know, making everyone know that, yes, he's on the pace. Because Kian, 2.2 the gap now, so Kian can't catch him on them soft tyre, medium tyres, sorry. So I think all eyes are going to be on Sen these last couple laps because with 2 laps left, you know, you've got to feel like it's going to be, this might be a photo finish for the win here. He knows he can win this race, does then, you can tell. Just by the way he's setting fastest laps, he's getting in Cooper's head saying, look mate, I'm coming. The win is mine. And the gap now 1.8. He's going to gain most of it through this second sector here. So obviously his fast left and right sequence, you need downforce, and he just doesn't have that. So let's see the gap, 1.7. What is it? It's 1.5 already. What is it now after come through sector 2? 1.5 still. So again, this could be a photo finish here. 1.3 now. So we gained, I think, 4 tenths in that second sector alone. So I mean, realistically, he needed DRS this lap, I think. And Cooper, he's going defensive already. You must think he's in DRS already, but he isn't. I mean, Sen doesn't have much ERS, but Cooper has a lot more. 1.2 the gap. Jay Carty onto the podium, going for battle number 15,006 tonight. As that onto the podium, I think he's just got 4th under lock. I'm not gonna say anything yet, but Zen, he's in the DRS. This could be Cooper's race to lose here, but with wing damage, you've got to give it to him. Definitely one to look out for this season. I think that there's at least, you know, 4, 5, even 6 people that could go for the title here. So the season should be a fantastic season to watch and commentate on. As now Sen 6 tenths to gap. He's got the DRS, which is what he needed. If he didn't have DRS now, then I'd say he might swing in Cooper's favour. But nonetheless, it's been a good drive from multiple people here tonight. So yeah, I think this is I think Cooper might have to concede the win here through no fault of his own either. So Cooper's going to try and get the exit now. 19 lap old mediums, hard, sorry. It's an outstanding achievement. Cooper goes defensive. Sen will have to go right round the outside, and yeah, he blasts straight past him. Is he going to go for a dive though? Of course, don't want to battle too much. I mean, Cooper's tyres do look short. They look very short at this point of the race. Oh, Cooper gets a penalty. Oh, that more or less guarantees the win for Sen. Oh, that last little mistake just put him off, but he's going to go for it. Yes, he is. Oh no, he doesn't. Backs out of it. And Kian now, he could be on for second place here. As wow, 30.6 from Compton Scatter. That's a good lap from him. He's in the points as well, so good showing from him as Cooper almost not locks up, almost runs into the back of Zen. And Kian will definitely get P2 at this point. Onto the podium. He's catching as Carty behind has a bit of a moment, but Simo and Liam going side by side. Oh no, Liam's lagged out, but Simo was almost drifting through the start of sector 2 there. But we're going to go back to Sen as he comes down the back straight for the final time. It's his first time he's been in the lead of the race, and he's going to come home. Excuse me. To take the win in the pre-season race. What a time to yawn. He comes across the line to win here at Bahrain. Cooper in second. Kian will get second, and onto the podium. Will not be on the podium tonight as he just misses out in fourth place. Jay Carty in fifth. Good race from him. Ozo never missing sixth. Grumpy, a good recovery drive from him. Now we've got to remember this man had two spins and side at the back, and he's in seventh place. So fair play to Grumpy. Simo in eighth. He'll be happy with that. Liam in ninth, I think. Well, Liam's lagged out, so he won't be classified. So that will promote Mayhem Madness, up into what is 9th place as Hulk finishes in 11th. And Luke, to be fair to him, didn't give up. He's still in this race, so fair play to Luke. And he will finish the race in 12th place, last place on the grid. And yeah, what a pre-season race that was. I saw at least 5-6 people who could potentially fight for the title. So that'll be a good indication for the drivers who to watch out for, who to sort of aim for, and who they think are on the same pace. But there's Sen celebrating the win. You've got to feel onto the podium. Didn't have that minus half spin, then he would be there with him. But it is Sen who gets the win from Kian in second, and Cooper in third. So team performance wise, I would say Force India did the best, just because 5th and 6th, good result overall. Yeah, no, Grumpy, I agree with you. I think I said it in the stream that if you didn't spin twice and you didn't have to start the back, then you would be up there as well. So yeah, good little indication there for the drivers as well. As who got fast lap at the end now? I believe it was Mayhem who got the fast lap, 30.6, and that was on the hards as well. So a phenomenal lap at the end there on one hards. So good for him. And of course we lost Braun at the start, Fraggle, Frizzo who got a puncher, and Stephen who got a puncher as well. So saw 2 punches here tonight. So it'd be a good indication as to what to do for my pre-season race tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not going to do interviews tonight because I haven't got everyone added, and it will just take quite a long time. But from next week we will be at Australia, and I will be doing podium interviews. And so my name's been Cliffy. Thank you everyone that has watched the whole race. I do appreciate everyone coming in and joining in, and I'll see you next week for Australia. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.